Hello to everyone, this is Vishal and today we are on the other topic of the day that's called your Node.js with your MySQL RESTful APIs, how we can build it and how we can test that connection with our retrofit and get data. So that's all we work on our local data server and how you can build your server for the Node.js and how we can use that and how we can get the data. So these kind of stuffs we have to work because of as last time I put in the video that's of the basic requirement of notification straps and today also be some users want that if they want to work with the backend and they want to start with the Node.js and how they can interact with your Android system. So that means this is a complete we can say the combinations we can use it, that means on the front end and the back end with your Node.js. So today we have to discuss about again that's what's your representational state transfer, how you can build it on Node.js and how you can get connect with your MySQL and then all the results be there and you can make APIs whether you can uh, fetch it or you can save the data there. So by the retrofit. So these all stuffs we have to cover today. So let us start the topic of the day because we have become that means all rounder in all areas. That means we can work with the back end and as well as front end on the both the sides. So Node.js is very easy. You can build your own APIs and test it with your apps also. Okay, so if we take a topic, that means we have to go in a depth for that. So here, as we know about the Node.js with MySQL with the REST. So first, I'm discuss about that. What is the simple terms as we are using? So we can say the RESTful APIs. So what is exactly that is called your representational state transfer. That is called your REST. And the RESTful API is an implementation of application programming interface. That's easy. It is a communication method architecture that uses the HTTP protocol. So whenever you work with your REST, that means it uses your HTTP protocols to exchange data. And this method is often applied in the app development because of that's also be important during the time of intro, this kind of stuffs. And the client sends request to the server via HTTP request and server get response by your HTTP response, as we know that simple web applications be working on. But what happened that your Android apps, your iOS apps never understand that what is exactly the HTTP request and this kind of HTTP response. That means they never work on the browser. So what to do? We need to make a RESTful APIs for them. So that's we can understand it. We can create the models and that models we can use in our retrofit. And that retrofit get or set data using the uh, that means your REST APIs. And today one more thing and one more term you can learn that is called your CRUD, that is CRUD. What's the meaning of that? That is CRUD, that means create, read, update, delete. So that's a simple term. So these happen when you work with your backends, that means your databases. So it is a simple term that abbreviated because it's a common feature in many applications and it's easier to say CRUD. It describes the four basic operations you can perform on data, that is create, read, update and delete. And if you say that what is the difference between the REST and CRUD, so these are basic types of SQL commands, but they are working with your REST. That is, most applications have a kind of CRUD functionalities. A CRUD application is one that uses forms of get data into one of the database. Whenever we interact with the database, we can work with CRUD. And REST stands for the representational state transfer. That means we can apply the queries on that, and by that queries we can use and do this kind of operation. That means CRUD operations. Okay, and yeah, as I discussed that we know that Android iOS don't need to HTML responses. So what we do, we can make it are RESTful APIs. So we can say the REST be a bridge between apps and server. And these data response usually formatted JSON, XML, this kind of. Then we can say that simply JSON mainly. So the RESTful APIs uses your get, post, put and delete these operations. And get to get data from the read, post to create new data, put to upload or update the data, delete to delete the data, or you can see that these all terms be under your get, post, put and delete. What we create, read, update and delete. So what is this? CRUD. So that is the way we are working. So how we can implement, how we can do it with the Node.js. So Node.js, there are many tutorials of Node.js today, but I'm taking a topic just for your making APIs, how we can interact with the MySQL and how we can use that on your Android app, just in a simple steps. So Node.js is an open source server environment. Just like we have a PHP and other things, so there will be the that means little bit difficult to understand, little bit difficult. That means not everyone be the PHP developer on Android side, but whenever you work with as a Android developer, so that means you can work with the Node.js also because of this is the eagerness or curiosity that we have to work with the React Native or likewise that. So if you are an Android developer or you Ionic framework also. So in every area our Node.js be working. So the Node.js is a very simple. It is an open source. How we can use it, and that's the topic of the day. How we can interact with the MySQL. That's also be, and how to make the APIs and how we can fetch the data. These all we have to work. So the common task for the web server can be open a file on the server and return the content of the client. That means our client application is our, we can say this is your app. Let me check. Yeah, so this is your app, this is your Node.js. You can create the server port on, then your server JS be running on that. It demands something and then fetch the data on your app. And if it won't be the post data, that means it want to insert something, it can it can post the data. So that means both get and post we have to work with like this. So we have to understand some terms whenever you work with the Node.js. So how we can install it like that. So there is a simple download and you can download for the Windows if you're working, and if you're for working with the Mac, so you can work. But the functionality be the working on the same, little bit different on the commands. Okay. So here I'm taking a Mac today. So just very simple on a Mac how you can learn that. So that's, and if you're working with the Windows, the same approach be there, but little bit installations and otherwise things be little bit different, otherwise not an issue. Okay, so this is a simple Node.js. First is that means first and foremost thing is you have to install your Node.js. That with your download, go to the download, there is instructions, simple downloading function, and then once it works, then you can download the Node.js there. Okay, now the important term is what is the npm. Npm is your, we can say, the node package manager. So the whenever it can manage all the things with there. Number one, that is it is online repositories for the publishing of open source Node.js projects. Second, it is a command line utility for interacting with repositories, package installations, version management. So that means it can handle all the things of Node. So that means the command over this, it manage, that is it is a manager of your Node.js. So if you want anything, you can ask to npm that I need this package, I need this file. So npm ask what your requirement and give it to you. So that's very simple. Okay, so that is a very simple, that means whenever you work with the package installations, then you work with npm. So how we can do it? So let us start it. Practically we can see that how we can make a server of Node.js. Okay, so some simple steps we need to follow. That's on a Mac what to do. If you are Windows, they're the same, but here we go to the desktop, and I'm making a directory on the desktop. That is, this is a terminal. That means working with the Mac, they know well. So on the desktop, we make a directory. Just make directory node uh, rest example. Okay, so that's we have to work. And once this happen, you go to the directory node rest example. So now your directory B, that means you're inside on that. So here you can say npm init and say yes. So that means we can initialize your npm video. So if you want to check the versions, you can also be using the npm, you can check that. So everything be using by the npm. So I say to npm, say yeah, everything is fine. Yeah, this is a fine. It can, yeah, test it. Now if you want to be the installation for that, again you can work, otherwise it's already installed. So npm install. So I'm doing for this project, so I'm install it again. You also do that same. And now you can install some frameworks. That is important whenever you work with your, so you can say that npm install express. That is the most important framework whenever we work with the apis. So whenever we work with the apis, we need this framework express. So once it installed, we can work with the other framework, that is your MySQL, because of we are working with a MySQL. So these all be the frameworks whenever you work with. And here you can use the same command, but here you can say okay, yeah. So these to be once download, we can go with the third command, that is called your body parser. So because of we need to parse the JSON or other things, so we need for the body parser. So these things be completed, and we have to start with a simple server. So how we can build a server JS? So first we go to the desktop and check your node rest example. So you can see that here, so everything is there. Okay, so what to do, you go for the sublime text or other, and you can make new file. Okay, and here we have to do some points, we have to put some points, that is for your how we can make it server. So let's see. So here first you need to make a constant const express that require what we need it. First package is first framework with your express. That's easy. Now we have to go for the body parser. What we needed, body parser. This to happen. Now we have to make as your app, and that's your express. So first we have to save this file in your folder where we have the node examples. Okay, let's see what happens. Wait for a minute. So on a desktop, you go for node rest example. There you can save it as your server.js. Okay, so this is your server.js. So here we have some expressions more, that is called your const, and here we need to a MySQL also, that's your requirement, and that's requirement peer MySQL. Okay, so that's once done, you save it, this work. So first we need it your, so I will explain it, what is express, what is a body parser, and what is MySQL. Everybody know that where we have a database. Okay, so express, if we define the express, we can say that express is a minimal and flexible Node.js framework that provides a robust set of features to develop web or mobile applications. So whenever you make a REST services using the Node.js, we need this framework just in a simple steps. Okay, and also whenever we work with the JSON, row and URL, we need to a body parser, that means a middleware. So if you see that what we have done, we just use the express body parser and make a app as an express, and MySQL, that is a SQL. So these things we need, just simple requirement. And how you start the server, you can just simply say now app.listen, just put it here, app.listen, this is your port, and just you can check it, it is started on port 3000, whatever your port you can use it for, and save this. That's a very easy step. Okay, and now you have to go for the browser and see, yeah, you can say that run this 127, just simple, it is 127.0.01, but how we can start it, that's the question. So it not start till we make it like this. So go for your again a terminal and say, at this time it say it is refused to connect because of there is no connection on the server. So how you make it server, you can say node server.js. so that means you start your server be here, and it's a server started on port 3000. So this is your server started, and simple these things make your server ready. And once you done it, you can run this and it show to you there is no get or likewise that, but it run because of it is connected. Yeah, so you can say cannot get because of there is no any service be there. So that means it is connected and this is our server. That's easy. So there are so many way you can make your server be that. Okay, now what to do, we on the next step uh, we have to make or connect a database, and then database on phpMyAdmin we have to run that. Okay, now what to do, then we have the express body parser app and MySQL, these be ready. Now we have to make a connection for my MySQL, so that's very easy. You can just simply say const and your con connection, and you have to get connection with your MySQL. So say MySQL dot create connection. That's very easy, and just make it like this, curly brackets, and inside that you need a host, as we are working with our host as in a local host or 127.0.1. and we need a user, and our user be a root. It depends that we are I have to start my exam server for PHP MyAdmin. So whatever your server, you can use that. And password is your nothing at this time, and your database. And if there is no database, you can create also. So there is a command also be creating a database, but at this time we are working with our database on server. So these things be ready, that means it connected with our connection. So once it's connected, that means we have to check that whether the connection is established or not. So for this, first we have to check that we have to go for our exam server. Exam server is just needed for your MySQL, nothing else, or your WAMP, whatever be you need it. That means where your PHP MyAdmin be working, you need that. Okay, so once they started, I just want to start the MySQL, and as we have done with simple connections. So first we have to check that our connection is connected or not, because of as we are working, this is my PHP admin, and here I have some tables, but this is my database Vishal. Okay, so I have to check that whether it is connected or not by my connection. So what to do, you just check it, con dot connect, and make your function for the connection error, and curly brackets, if error, then you can just simply say throw error, otherwise you have to say console dot log. This is your connected. It's a simple checking of your connection. Okay, so let's see, and what to do, you have to say Control C for exit, and again we have to run that node.server. It show me it is connected, so that means it is connected finally. So how to check the connections, that's the simple function. And now you can create your table either directly from here, new table, or otherwise I show to you how you can create your table B using the connection also. Sometimes we can create B here, so it's good. You can say create table student, and here you can say this is my ID, it is int, and I want to make it as an auto increment primary key, very simple. And here I just say to the name of student, that is a varchar, and on the varchar you define the values, and also course I want to say. So this is your again varchar and 250. So I think it's simple SQL query. Okay, and now how you can run that query, you can say con dot query and simple SQL and comma, that's your function, and that your function with your error comma result. Two things we need it for this. Okay, and just simply semicolon, curly brackets, the simple structure of this. If error, throw error, and console.log, and you can say that table created. So let's see what happened. So again, check for the terminal, control C, you can say not server.js, it's semi connected, table created, and then refresh your database, check the table be here. Yeah, so you can see that simple student table be here. Okay, and this is your structure of the table, ID, name and course. This is your 200, 250, and this is your int ID auto increment. So very simple work whenever you work with a database. Now we have to go for APIs, how you can make a get or post APIs with this. Okay, so once you create the table here, okay, no need of this, just hide this code. Now we have to go for our APIs. So first we start the get API. So for this important thing is which we make a app as an express framework. So everything should be in a form of app, listen and app, because of we are working with a get and post. So you can say because of above we work with the direct connections, so we can execute the query as in con.query, but here we are working with the get and set, or sorry, post REST APIs. So for that you can say that app.get, okay, and app.post. So here you can make your API name, and you can say this is your app slash student list, okay, and that's easy. And now you can say that simple request comma response, nothing else, and here you start your curly brackets be simple. So here we can check that our customers request and responses B. So here for that we need a SQL, but as in a REST, okay. So you can say that select star from student, okay. This is our query. So you can select it particular ID or you can select it directly. So at this time I'm selecting complete list of that the student, okay, and you can say that let query be, and you can say that's con.query, and the con.query we have to execute SQL comma error comma result, and we have to check that result what happened be here. So easy, simple step, these two steps be important. And you can say if error throw error, simple, okay, and otherwise res to send, and here I am sending JSON dot stringy file, that is an important, we have to stringify that, and I want be the result as an curly bracket, and need is that first I want be a status colon 200. Okay, then we go for the comma. If there is some error, you can go for the error. Nothing we have, and now we have to go for the response. Okay, and in this response you can say simple result. So that means this is your response for the result. So I think that's easy, and this is columns, these all. But before that, that is the most important part, you have to use the body parser because of our REST APIs. We work on the body parser. So you can say app.use body parser, and that body parser be as in a form of JSON. Okay, sorry, you can say JSON. Okay, so that's your JSON, and app.use, and in this case you can say that body parser dot URL encoded, URL encoded. Okay, and you simply curly brackets, and under that URL encoded you can say extended, that means true. You can use that. So URL encoded forms you can work on. So I think everything is ready, and a simple structure of this API we can check it, but before that we add some values on our table. So let's see. Okay, so we add some values be here, so you can go for the table and just simply on insert we add some values like this is your name Vishal and course MCA, and just put it down, go. So once our record be here, so this is our Vishal and MCA. Okay, so now what to do, we have to go with a terminal, node source server.js, okay, and okay, here no need to make it like this, just a minute, control C, let's see again, yeah, okay, it is connected, and now we have to go with your 127, this is your API, sorry, app student list. So let's see what be the result for the student list. Server is running or not yet? So running. Fetching the data, yeah, this is your name Vishal and course MCA, so it fetch our data. If we insert one more thing here, I'm say Rob and BCA, so go for that. This is our student, the two tables, and then run this, so you can see this is your list of APIs on the GET. So it's so easy. So I think it's as we are seeing that 15 to 20 minute works and with the Node.js. So So no need of PHP code. Likewise, simple script and simple Node.js. And now we have to fetch this data b as an on our check it on the Postman also. I showed to you. Next is, let's check whatever be your in browser, you just copy paste and check it on your Postman and see what happened with the get. Yes, you can see that this is a simple structure as we are using the Postman. So you just copy it and using the JSON to Pojo you can make your models. So tomorrow I will make the model for this, and also we have to make a post service with, and then use the retrofit and get call both. That means we can insert our data and get the list on that. So that simple structure we have to cover, but yeah, then I will integrate both the sessions. That means today and tomorrow. So these things be easy. So now the steps you have to learn. So this, I think in this coding, simple for 10 to 12 or means in every app, this is your 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 7 lines of code, you can make your simple get APIs, and you can make a server on a single line of code, and also you can insert your data, make table and simple connections. So I think it's the best choice of Node.js. You can work on the server side. And now we have to work with Android. Okay, so as we have seen that we have worked with the get API and how we can call that using the Postman, and now how we can make the post APIs. So for this we need just a minute. Yeah, so this is our name and course, these two things, and then use that API. That means to insert that values name and course for here. So for that, what to do the same thing, but not for the get, for the post. So you can say that app dot post, that's very easy, and give your API name like API app, whatever you want for that. So I'm using app, and this is your add student. Okay, and okay, one more thing I'll show you. You can use it direct brackets, or also you can use these terms, that is your function. So your function, that is your request, that is your response, and if you want to insert or do something, then you can do for next. Okay, and for this you can semicolon, curly brackets, and inside that first, that means we need a body parameters. I'm talking about the body today. That is your request dot body dot, and we need a name, and course request dot body dot course. That's simple. So these two things we need it for. And now the next thing is your SQL query, and for this what to do, this is insert into student. Here this is your name, comma, course as a simple query we have, and values. So for the values, what we needed, we need these parameters. So these parameters me, you can apply the dollar symbol and curly brackets, and that's your name. So this is your parameter way. You have to pass that parameters using this. Okay, and for this we need it again dollar symbol, and this is your course. Okay, so by this we can work. So this is the way you can make your query. And now once query be ready, you can go for the conf dot query, and that query be your SQL, and again you have to make your function, and that function you have to show for the error comma result. Simple. And now again, just a minute, this is a wrong sign, the right sign is this. Okay, and now convert query SQL, and this one is very simple as we have done. And now again you can use the curly brackets whenever you work with this. That means under that you use curly brackets, and if your error, then throw error, and this is your response dot JSON, and I want be the response as in the form of JSON, and that is your again a curly bracket, and you can use status colon success. What I want, success is everything be fine, and this is your ID colon, this is your result dot insert ID. That means your result values, it fetch it. Now that's fine, that is fine. Okay, now reconnect that server, and this is our postman, this is your post, and here you can say that is we have worked with the student list. So here what be our API post name, that is very simple, add student. Okay, and just use this. And here as I'm doing with the body part with the row, so what you can do, you can say curly, and here this is name colon, I'm using the name, and this is a course. Okay, we change the name using the Bob because of Vishal already be there, and this is a course, and course is your BTech, and here as we work with the JSON. So everything is ready, and this is your add student, just send it. So it show me the success, and result be ID 4 as we have on our JSON. This is our status, and this is our ID in the form of result. So these things be easy, and you can check it on your student. Now the Bob is there with the BTech. So it's so easy, you can work with your system and you can make their APIs. And now I will check it how we make a models and then use it on your Android Studio with the retrofit. Okay, so both the APIs be ready, and we can see that uh, it's a success be. And how we can use the retrofit calling, so for that we need models. Okay, so what to do, you can go with the student list, and as we have done last time, and your get values, and check it what be the result, everything is here. Okay, so what to do, you can go with your JSON and just paste it here, and here you can see that is your JSON, this is your JSON, and everything be there. Okay, and yeah, rest of the things we find, and you can see the preview for this. So that means this is our model be ready. So you just copy paste complete model and put it on your Android Studio. Okay, so as our pose will be ready, no need of this now. We just make a here, or we just make a model for that. Okay, so here it is a model for the student model, student response model, and the student add model. These three models, that means that we have for get a response to show in a list. So that's very easy. You can put it as a new model as you have done, and this is your remote in which we have API services, API URL, and here we have a custom adapter for the recycler view by which we can fetch the result. So those who don't know about this retrofit and other, you can go on my previous sessions related to the retrofit, simple RX Java and other, so you can check that how we can implement it. So the important thing is we do not need to use that as an 1 to 7.0.01 here. That means it is not your local server, because of whenever you interact with your emulator Genymotion, so we need 10.0.3.2 for the Genymotion emulator access to the local server. Okay, port is same, port always be whatever be you work on that. So that's your, and this is your API service. Now we start our work using the API service. So let's start it, how we can call that and show that student list using the Node.js. Okay, so here we have to make our interface for the API services for the retrofit. As you know that we have a retro classes and we can get to make an interface. So use at get, so that's your retrofit, and it's your whatever be your service for the Sublime, you can check it. This is your simple Node.js data. Okay, slash already be there, and we need it, so we need a call for this retrofit, and this is your student model. Okay, and you can make it as a get student list. That's easy. So this is our get bit ready, and now this is our post, and on the post you just check that what will be the post value, because at this time we are not working with that parameters using the XML URL encoded, so we are using the body of the uh, form of JSON. So little bit different whenever you call that. So I will show you both. First today I'm giving you the body JSON, how you can work on. So this is your call, and this is your student add, and we need to add the student, so you can say add student, and here we have a complete body. So the complete body is in the form of add body, and body with your JSON object, and this is your JSON object. Simple. So these to be ready. Now first we fetch the results, whatever we have our results on. So this is our main activity in which already be the recycler view, and just simple layout be our activity main. So here we just simple view of this. Okay, just take the margin 10 dp, and background color accent, so just simple. Okay, so this is the way we can work. And now on the main activity we have to make a function, that is your call data, and we want public void and call it here, so we can fetch the result. Okay, so what to do for this? We have our API service, and make it object, and this is our retro class. I am saying again that those who don't know about the retrofit, just watch my previous sessions in which you can see that particular details of that, how we can get, how we can uh, use that. Retrofit is an easy way. Okay, so this is our student model, this is your student model call, and this is your API service dot get student list. So easy. And when you call this, you can say student model call dot enqueue new call. This is your model responses. So easy it is. So if you want to trace that, you can say the log.d alt enter, and it's your response behave response dot body dot get status. You can find it, or we can make it if response dot is successful. So, or your status code is 200, you can do that. I'm not doing this. What you have to done, you just call your custom adapter. You can create your custom adapter, private custom adapter. Your custom adapter be here, and you can call that adapter. This custom adapter is equals to new custom adapter, and this is your main activity dot this comma response dot body dot get response. So by this we can fetch our list, and here what we have, we needed a recycler view. So that's recycler view dot set adapter is your custom adapter. So this is the way, very easy. And now we can check it on your Genymotion. Okay, so let's see what be the result of this recycler view adapters on the emulator. Yeah, you can see that name and courses with there. So it's not a good layout. I'm just showing to you how you can fetch your data. Okay, you make your layouts according to whatever be the requirement, and then simple, we can fetch our data using the Node.js. Very easy. That's get API. Now we have to work with your addition of something though, so we can work on like that. So we have to save our data, like enter the name and course. So we have to make a, we have to call that post API, which we make it, and how we can save our data using the body JSON. So that's we have to work on. Okay. Okay, for saving the data, we need a simple function, but here we do not pass the parameters. I am showing first how we can pass the body, complete body as in a JSON. Then you can make according to that, and in coming sessions we will show you how you can passing the parameters with your URL and coded forms. Okay, so this is your call data function, and in this call data function you have to use that API service. Make an object. This is your retro class, and dot get API service. Simple. And I'm saying again and again, so if you want to be work on the retrofit, I have many sessions related to the retrofit. So first you have to build a complete good practice on that. Okay, and here because of we have to convert the JSON and JSON, there's a difference between whenever you work with that. I think I already explained these things. So here we have to create two objects. Number one is your JSON object, you can see that, and this is your JSON and this is your JSON. So whenever you convert that, so we have to make our conversions as in a JSON. So first we have to create that. Okay, so let's see, this is called your JSON object, and you can say new, and now we have to create our final. This is our object that need to be converted. This is called JSON object or new JSON object. Okay, so that's simple, and we have to try, we have to catch. This is your JSON exception e, and we have to call this as in a JSON object dot put, and here we have a two name things, that the name and course, two things we have, and here you can say what be the value. This is a student name dot get text dot to string. So here you fetch your values, and the same thing you have to work with your course, and for the course what we have student course. Okay, so here you are using student course. So these things we have only two parameters. If you have more, you can convert that. Okay, and now we have to parse that data, because of you need a parsing. So we need JSON parser, and new JSON parser. That's it. And here you can see that this is your JSON object, and how you can convert it, that is your JSON object, and this is your JSON parser dot parse what your data as in the form of JSON object. So there are many ways you can convert that this kind of stuff. Okay, so these are conversions. Okay, that's on a string form, and once this be ready, we have to pass and call the service be here. This is your call student add call. This is your API service dot add student, and this is your JSON object. Okay, and student call dot enqueue new callback, and here you can fetch your data or you can call that. So this is your log.t, and this you are fetching a data as in result, or you can print it your alert. So you can say response dot body dot your data status which we provided, and if there is an issue, so you can get the message here. Okay, so let's see what will the result be here on emulator. Yeah, we can add, and to the name we can say new name, and to the course we say MTech. So add that student. So that's the way we can work, and one more time we have to check that whether our data be inserted or not, because of I'm not using the refresh on the recycler view, but you can use that refreshment. Okay, Okay, so again I call it yes. So you can see that there's an entry, name and mtech. So this kind of with the Node.js get and a post API is very easy. So in our coming sessions, we'll discuss more about that, how we can use a simple get and post methods with the queries, and you can use your own local host as an Node.js and work on. And in React also be the same process but little bit different on that, but where we use css and other stuffs. I already make one video on that, but no time for such a stuff, but in the future we'll make more. So today you just practice on this with the how you can interact with your Android Studio and fetch result data as a retrofit, and how you make your get or post APIs in your Node.js in an easy way. So thank you so much for the day, and we'll continue with the more videos in the future. Thanks so much.